All right, welcome back. These are breaking news. Former Nigerian president sends warning to Tinubu. This is disturbing. Well, onto this, Atiku accused Tinubu's administration of sliding Nigeria towards authoritarian rule and Muslim free speech. He condemned the use of the Cyber Talking Act to silence critics and then described it as a modern tool of tyranny. He warned that the 2027 election would be a defining moment between the Tinubu hegemony and the will of the people. Now, further, Nigerian Vice President Atiku Abubakar has issued a stern warning to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, accusing his administration of sliding the country towards authoritarian rule. In a strongly worded opinion piece titled "A Nation Gripped in the Throes of Fear," Atiku alleged that Nigeria was fast becoming a police state where citizens, journalists, and activists face harassment for expressing themselves. There is a disturbing yet growing pattern by which the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu continues to muzzle free speech and erode the integrity of our democracy. If this creeping culture of repression continues unchecked, it will ultimately turn the government into a bully and then make subjects of free citizens, Atiku wrote. Atiku Cyber Talking Act now a tool of tyranny, according to what Atiku made clear. The former vice president condemned the use of the Cyber Talking Act to clamp down on government critics, describing it as a modern tool of tyranny reminiscent of colonial sedition laws. Under the obnoxious Cyber Talking Act, this government has metamorphosed into a Leviathan, one that strives on fear and seeks to silence the very voices that sustain democracy. This is an aberration and affront to freedom, and it must be roundly rejected. Atiku said laws that limit free expression are undemocratic and unconstitutional, urging Nigerians to defend their right to speak without fear. Atiku accuses Tinubu's government of weaponizing state institutions. Atiku accused the Tinubu administration of using state institutions to suppress opposition and disobey court orders, saying such actions weaken democracy and the rule of law. In the 2.5 years since the Tinubu administration began unleashing its cocktail of economic hardship, hunger, and despair on the Nigerian people, we have witnessed protests and outcries. Yet, rather than listen, the government has chosen the path of brute force and intimidation, threatening dissent as treason, he said. He added that the government alleged disregard for court orders and human rights violations have become its most infamous credentials. Institutions losing independence. Atiku lamented the growing silence of Nigerian democratic institutions, saying parliament and oversight agencies now serve power instead of checking it. Even institutions that should act as checks on executive SSAs legislatures, oversight agencies, and then the judiciary have become mere rubber stamps. Their leaders tripping over themselves to sing the praises of a president few dare to question is said. He warned that this culture of silence and then submission was eroding public trust and weakening Nigerians' democratic foundations. Atiku says 2027 election will be a defining moment, describing the upcoming 2027 general election as a contest between the Tinubu hegemony and the will of the people. Atiku urged Nigerians and then civil society groups to resist intimidation and then reclaim their democratic rights. As a Democrat and a stakeholder in the opposition, I am convinced that the 2027 election will be a defining moment, a context not merely between parties but between the Tinubu hegemony and the will of the Nigerian people, he declared. All right, exactly what had been said onto this. Atiku had made a very great statement, and right now, my brother, my sister, we will all agree with Atiku. Yes, in fact, completely agree with Atiku. But one thing I will have to say right now is this: if Atiku can come out to say this, maybe because he is not yet the president, fine. At least we will thank God that he's coming out to tell the truth. But over the years he's been there, well, a lot of people will say when Atiku was there, maybe things were not as difficult as this, though then he was a vice president. Things were not as tough as the way it had been, and maybe if he gets there it will be better. But one thing is, a majority of these our politicians, the problem I have with them is that when they are not there, they can make promises, but when they get there, what happens? I'm just saying. But with what Atiku has said so far, it's nothing but the truth. If only, if whenever they get there they will do better. That's what I can say to this. Well, majority of people though have actually reacted in different forms onto this one. And then according to Fîré Yebe, he says, and I quote, "You remain the biggest problem in the annals of Nigerian political history via your greedy tendency to grab power by all costs. Were you not part and parcel of the said gang group that costed Goodluck Jonathan from office? Stop crying foul about whatever bizarre situation that's playing out at the moment. All you need to know is this: life is trying to teach you a better lesson so that you can equally be a better person." All right, and then I think Fîré have just said it all. Yes, when you were there, I said something like that. What happened? How did you make it happen during your time? Though things were not as difficult as they are right now. Yes. Well, meanwhile, according to Oko Joseph, okay, onto this one, so well, I agree that Tinubu's government has fallen below democratic principle in so many ways, but Atiku will not claim to be better. For instance, he claimed to be in support of Free Nnamdi Kanu protest. If I may ask, why did he not fight for that cause when his brother late Buhari was in power? Please, Atiku should respect his old age and stay clear from presidential race. Oh, this one is another strong one. When your brother was there, according to what this person has said, why didn't you come out and say the same thing? Nobody said anything. Well, a lot of people are taking it to be like, oh, they are trying to bring down the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But one thing for sure is that we should all try our best to stand for the truth, no matter who is on seat. That's exactly what I will say to this. This is so serious. Well, according to Tony, say, well, Yoruba people, una know they get sense, so una wan use tribalism finish this Nigeria. Most of una never brush because una no get money to buy toothpaste, yet still backing hardship and evil. Okay, that's another one that has been said by Tony. Well, according to Prince Ikechukwu, say, well, Saint Atiku, we heard you give him power. Now you see the other side of him. In fact, he will even do more than Tinubu. Okay, yeah, somebody else have made it clear that Atiku, well, now they talk about if he reach there, he go do worse than waiting Tinubu they do. All right, so according to Lorenzo Anthony, say, well, Atiku is also part of the problem we are suffering today, but however, if you want to rewrite his wrongs, I think he should be allowed to do so. Okay, that's another one. Well, according to Ikorodu, namely, he says, well, Jagaban don't mind Atiku. Okay, that's another strong one. Yeah, so coming from Matthew Akoni, say, well, maybe Atiku wanted to go and resell Aso Villa, all government establishments, and then Abuja as a whole, including Eagle Square, and then so on. All government enterprise is sold as a PBE during his tenure is not enough. Let him account for $16 billion Malabu hydropower. Okay, that's another one. Well, the fact remains that I said this earlier. Atiku, if you get there, are you sure you will do better? That's another thing. Are you sure you will not clear the road, you will not clear the farm, the bushes, and then all that to someone else's part? Okay, a lot of things though are actually being said onto this one, my people. Majority of things are still being said. Yeah, so according to Lampard Onyemechi, okay, he says, and I quote, this is the reason why he was called that ugly name, the Jagaban of Lagos, which means the final say of Lagos, and then he has implemented that in the whole Nigeria as he gradually playing his hide and seek game through showing himself the Jagaban of Nigeria. But those antics are dead on arrival, for we are ahead of that. We are ahead of that outdated, systematic, tyrannical leadership, as the vast majority have already lost confidence in Nigeria rogue criminally structural system. All right, that was said by Lampard Onyemechi. Okay, according to Samson Babatunde, he says, and I quote, Alhaji Atiku should contest election that he will never win, just like Obi Sowore has no idea of government. Sowore thinks that he is still the president student union. All right, so that's so strong. Okay, and exactly what it is. Until this one, my people, until I come your way, I say bye for now.